Hey, before we dive in, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss stories like this. The moment I saw the text light up on my phone, a chill ran down my spine. Can't wait to see you tonight. It read with a little heart emoji. I glanced up from the kitchen counter where I was chopping vegetables for dinner, and my husband, Mark, was staring at me with that soft, calculating smile that used to make my heart skip. But tonight, it felt different. Heavy, almost suspicious. We were in our dining room, a soft amber light spilling across the mahogany table. I had spent all afternoon preparing his favorite, roast chicken with rosemary, mashed potatoes, and that wine he insisted only pair with certain evenings. Everything smelled like comfort, like us, but beneath the surface, there was tension I couldn't shake. Mark reached for his glass of red, swirling it slowly as if the motion alone could ground him, or maybe it was a performance. He always did this when he wanted to make me uneasy. I smiled, deliberately teasing. You know, I ran into Greg today. You remember him, my ex? My words were light, joking, but I watched carefully. His jaw tightened. His eyes flickered, but he didn't say a word. I leaned back in my chair, enjoying the tiny ripple of jealousy I'd just triggered. It had been years, but I couldn't resist testing him. His silence, though, was heavy, almost suffocating. Something in the air shifted. The faint sound of his phone buzzing against the table made me pause. He glanced down, a flash of something guilt-fear crossing his face. I cleared my throat and tried to keep the mood light, but the way he set the phone back down so carefully made me suspicious. His hand lingered a second too long over the screen. I wondered if there were secrets hidden in that little rectangle of glass, secrets that might destroy everything we'd built together. I smiled, masking my unease. "You've been quiet," I said softly, leaning forward. "Everything okay?" Mark's lips twitched into a half-smile, but his eyes darted elsewhere. That tiny, fleeting gesture told me more than words could. And in that moment, the air between us thickened. I felt it, the tension, the unspoken truths. But I didn't know yet how deep the betrayal would go. A soft ping from his phone broke the silence. He picked it up. I leaned in, and then I saw that I watched as Mark's thumb hovered over the screen for a heartbeat too long before he opened the message. My heart thumped, not in anticipation of love, but dread. The text preview showed only a single line. "Had to see you. Alone." His eyes darted toward me, then quickly away, avoiding mine like I was a puzzle he didn't want me to solve. "Who's that?" I asked casually, but my voice was tighter than I intended. Mark swallowed, his Adam's apple bobbing nervously. "It's just a friend," he said, but there was no warmth in his words, just a practiced neutrality that made my stomach twist. I felt a flicker of anger, the kind that simmers slowly before exploding. The evening went on, but the atmosphere had shifted. Every laugh, every clink of silverware felt like it belonged to a stranger. I caught him glancing at his phone again, and the way he tried to hide it only drew my suspicion further. I couldn't stop myself from peeking. Mark, who used to be open about everything, was suddenly guarded, secretive. Later, as I cleared the plates, I saw it, a small smudge of lipstick on his collar. I froze. My hand tightened around the dish towel. It couldn't be real. My mind replayed every interaction over the past week, the late nights working, the sudden defensiveness, the tiny excuses that didn't fit. I wanted to scream, but I forced myself to stay calm. I followed him into the living room under the guise of fetching my wine glass, and there it was, open on the coffee table. A message thread from someone named Elena. My chest constricted as I scrolled through the words. Flirty, suggestive, casual plans that turned into secret rendezvous. It was all there in stark, cold letters, spelling out betrayal I hadn't even imagined. Mark's voice broke through my shock. He started, but I didn't let him finish. The weight of it hit me like a punch to the chest. The man I trusted, loved, built a life with, he had been hiding pieces of himself from me all along. I sank onto the couch, trembling, unable to speak. My hands shook as I tried to process the magnitude of what I'd uncovered. Every memory, every promise, every laugh suddenly felt fragile, shattered, And then he said something that froze me to the bone. "I didn't want you to find out this way." The words hung in the air, meaningless and damning at the same time that I looked at him, really looked, and saw the man I thought I knew slipping away like smoke through my fingers. "This way," I echoed, my voice barely more than a whisper, sharp with disbelief. "You call this how I should find out?" "By sneaking around behind my back." Mark ran a hand through his hair, guilt etched into every line of his face. I didn't mean for it to happen like this," he stammered. Things got complicated." Complicated. The word tasted like poison. I wanted to scream, to hurl the glass of wine across the room, to shake him until he admitted everything, but I stayed still. I let the betrayal sink in, let the silence stretch until it became almost unbearable. "I loved you," I said finally, my voice trembling. "I trusted you with my life. And you," my throat tightened, "you chose someone else." He opened his mouth, but I cut him off. "No explanations. I don't want them. I want the truth I can see with my own eyes." I gestured toward the open message thread on the coffee table. "Every late night, every excuse, every lie, you lied to me." Mark looked down, ashamed. He didn't deny it, and that silence was worse than any confession. My chest ached with heartbreak, so sharp it felt like fire. I realized then that this wasn't just cheating. It was the death of trust, of the life we built together, of the future I thought we'd have. I stood, grabbing my coat, my hands still shaking. "I can't do this," I said, my voice breaking. "I can't stay in a marriage built on secrets and lies. I loved you with everything I had. You made your choice." He tried to reach for me, but I stepped back, tears spilling freely now. I walked toward the door, the weight of betrayal pressing down with every step. The sound of the door clicking shut behind me felt final, like a verdict. I don't know if Mark understood the depth of what he lost, or if he ever will. But I do know one thing. I'll never settle for being second to someone else's thrill, never again. Trust is sacred, and when it's broken, you either walk away or break yourself trying to fix it. If you've ever felt betrayal, heartbreak, or shock like this, share your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that hit hard, feel real, and remind us why trust matters.